Alright, so today I'm going to take an old computer I had and made it into a server, but ended up not using it, so now I'm going to sell it to another guy. But there's the case, and this is where we do all the computer work. Ta-da! Our main station is Linux. There's our new KVM. It's a 4-port KVM. My dad just recently got that, maybe I want to say 6 months ago. So we've been doing all this without a KVM. It's a little dirty. I'm going to have to rehook up some of these lights. So I got the DVD writer in there. It's not the fastest, but it does get the job done. It's DVD, CD reader, and DVD writer. So, okay. Inside the case. Okay, this fan. I don't know what happened. I'm about to take it out of here because it somehow broke off the mount. Just sitting there and started making some funny noises. So I'm going to have to take that out of there. Then, got the Coolmaster heat sink for the CPU. A little bigger than, you know, your normal size. Now there's a 650 watt power supply. Now I bought all this stuff maybe 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 5, 6 years ago. $800 later. However, I did get this case for 60 bucks, so I felt kind of proud about that. It's a 4 SATA motherboard, and then I got. But anyway, they're the gaming performance RAM. Let's see, and then the aftermarket video card. I know it's an ATI, and I think it's 4950. And this is the 512 DDR3. Yeah, it's the 4550. So it was the one step down. It's not a bad card. It's got the HDMI, the DVI, and the VGA connections. I set up the motherboard for this card, not thinking. So when I took it out and I tried to run the VGA on the motherboard's video card, the graphics card, it wouldn't recognize. So it wouldn't even display anything. So I had to put the card back in there. Now I got 2 hard drives here that I'm going to be checking and verifying because the guy's got a brand new hard drive. However, we gotta have another hard drive to swap out. So I got a 2 terabyte. These are the green label. They're good for home PCs and stuff like that. I was trying to use them in a RAID configuration and run a server, personal server, and they're just not built for that. Now this doesn't have any issues. But it does have some hours on the drive. I installed another fan specifically for the hard drives. There is a spot on this case for it, and you got to pull this whole front piece off. But that fan makes a world of difference and keeping the drive cool during operation. So. Put the power in. Now there's enough, there's enough spots here to load up with hard drives if the guy in the future chooses to do so. I guess he just uses it for personal and business, so it's not really necessary. Although I personally would probably run a RAID configuration on that drive just so that it stays safe. It stays functional, you know. Now we got the power and Ethernet. Y'all know that, right? From the KVM, running it from port number 3, which I told my dad to color code these, and he didn't do that. So anywho, comes out to 2 USB and the VGA. Now that's hooked to the external graphics card, which is exactly what I needed to do. And of course, Windows 7. Ain't that pretty? Yeah, no, I need to clean it. I don't recommend doing that a lot, but that's a good way to test to make sure that, you know, one fan's not pushing the other. Just stick your finger in there. Okay, for the KVM, it comes with this little remote button. Put it on over to 3. And if we're lucky enough, should have something come up. Make sure we're on 3. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It could be. Okay. What does that give me? Okay. Fair enough. We'll go over to 2. Hey, look at there. I'm an idiot because I think, yep, I did not plug in for the DVD write. Or for the DVD read, I guess I should say. I should say. Oh my goodness. I'm so over this SATA cable. Get a good focus on that. It broke. I'm gonna have to replace the SATA cable with something else. Sharing power cord from from the hard drive. Ta-da! Now both of these ends are still good. Never thought SATA cards or SATA cables have any issues. Now this came with the motherboard. I ended up never using it because every time you buy something like a hard drive or whatever, it comes with all the accessories you need. So back in that. Okay. See how it's broken in that corner? I don't have any grip. Yep, yank it like you do a vacuum cleaner cord. Okay. All good. Take a look. This might be the last time you see a Windows disk, since Windows 8 decided not to come out and follow Mac's little refit or whatever. Okay. Now I got it scheduled to boot from, or at least I think I do. I got it scheduled to boot from CD or USB first. Delete. Delete, delete, delete. Delete. You guys got a good view. You guys can't even see my screen. Why did you say something? Okay, you see my screen now? This is the old version for gigabyte or gigabyte. So we need to do the boot. See, first disk is USB. Not smart. Not smart. CD-ROM needs to be first. USB always second. Yeah, whatever. Flash drive. And then third, always hard disk. CD-ROM, USB, hard disk. Why? Because that's your first two recoveries. CD, if you have the CD, it's the best way to go. USB, if you don't have a CD. And then of course hard disk, you're screwed. Let's see. Okay, and we're going to save all these by F10ing it. And we're going to say yes. Why is it press enter? Alright, so here we go. Meanwhile, while the Windows is booting, I got to replace this fan. It's a fairly simple process. You know, you just got to remove this front plate, the grill separator, and then just pull the fan right off the back. Actually, it should just kind of fall off. We have contact. English. Install now.
Hold me.
Now, I will say this about 2 terabyte hard drives. Yes, they make them for consumer use, but they work too hard for daily use. Yeah, look at this fan. Just broke right off. It's not even worth the LEDs. But what it is worth having is power connectors. Because I don't feel like going down to Radio Shack and buying new ones. So I'm going to cut that off. Simple fix. Boom. Now you don't want to cut too much off because you're going to have to splice on this eventually. And that would be for the new fan. Now I know it's not as fancy or pretty to look at, but it does function. That's what counts. You got these 2 connectors, and then of course you got these connectors as well, which we're going to have to split. Now there is a proper way to splice wire together, and that's to create these claws. See the claw? And so they're going to kind of intertwine like so. The same thing for the other side. And then you got 2 choices. First one is to lay back on either side like so. So it looks like something like that. And then the other choice is to kind of twist them together for extra support, which is what I like to do. And then lay it on the whichever side wants to lay the closest. Okay, so when dealing with electrical wire, now I'm pretty sure this is common sense for anybody, but just to be on the safe side, always use electrician's tape, a non-conductive tape, when wrapping wires together. It's important, it's important, it's important. Don't believe me? Don't do it. But I have experienced where, you know, Scotch tape is not the key, is not the answer. So, word of advice, do as you're told. Use electrician's tape. Typically, you would tape individually and then tape together to keep a secure and sturdy connection. I'm low on tape because my dad has somehow, someway made it disappear. So we need to test this before I put it all together. There we go. That looks familiar. Yay! We got blowed. We got blowed.
Here.
Oh yeah, accept the agreement. You should always read the agreement. Now, we're installing a new copy. Custom, we're going to install a full deal here. There, see, you know, I had to load the fail-safe instructions in the BIOS for it to understand what it was doing, I guess. So, now we're just installing or whatever, and we'll expand it and get this thing on the road. Now, ironically, we won't need this hard drive because I remembered that there was actually a boot for this, and so this will be the backup to his backup. Dirty? Clean. Normally I would say use the same screws that you find with the fan, because of threading and plastic is very particular. However, in this case, I'm going to say use the fan or the screws that came with the case, because they tend to be adjusted a little bit longer. Okay, so place like so. So what we have, awesomeness. Ta-da! It's important for this fan to have all of its components in cooling, since that's what the case was designed for. So what do we have here? We have incoming or intake with output to output forced out. We live out in the country, so dust is a everyday thing. It's got a clear case so that he can see how dirty it is, and he can go in there and clean it out when he needs to. I should be cleaning these components, and I probably will at least do the CPU cooler because there's a little too much dust on there for my liking. But again, this sat in the closet for almost a year and a half, and then we brought it out and used it as a free NAS for about 3 or 4 months, and then something happened. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a update or something that happened, but I know the updates are done manually, but there was no way of accessing the drive again. Or we were able to access the drive from admin, but we could not actually do anything as far as the backups through Time Machine. So we left it to manual copy over to an actual hard disk, you know, a hard drive that isn't. It's just a backup drive. That's all it is. We've tried Western Digital drives, the Live Book or whatever. Waste of money. We did the Buffalo NAS, waste of money. And then so we built our own system. Was not a waste of money, but we just were not that smart to troubleshoot the tunnel for the free NAS on a home network. I was able to access it from outside the house and FTP right into it. So everything I could do through that was perfect, but I just couldn't do anything through LAN. If you think you can figure this out for me, that'd be awesome, man. I'll set up another machine, not this one because this one's sold, but on another machine I'll take any advice. So look there. See that keyboard? This is back when Dell cared and gave you every option you could ever possibly think of and more. And here I have another Dell keyboard. Same full QWERTY. However, it's got that. Comment below and tell me what you think it is and how could it be used, personally and business wise. And here next to me I have the Pavilion XE749 HP. Little guy. Look at those specs. Alright, so we are to the Windows 7 account. We're to the Windows 7 account for our home build. And I'm going to name it Home Built. And of course, the new owner can change, you know, whatever. Password. I am going to put a password in. So anyhow, now this is the part you don't get to see. I'm sorry. It's going to say I don't trust Windows at all. However, I am going to use the recommended settings at this point. Again, he can get this all configured when he gets the computer. We're located in Indiana, so, you know, we're lucky enough to get our own time zone. Let's see, we go 5. There we go. It is not 6:42, however. It is 2. 44, 45. And finalizing my settings on the computer. There we go. Not hooked up to the internet. It will not be hooked up to the internet until I have installed Avast and Superware. So that's pretty much it for this device. So for this device, for this machine, yeah, virus protection. There we go, that's what we're looking for. Windows 7 64-bit. Oh, currently it's 4 gigs of RAM. 4 gigs of RAM. 4 gigs. That's alright. We'll have to look at the RAM here in a second. But it's the old 550, but this is the black edition. So I can install the drivers for this processor and boost it out to probably, I don't know, 3.4 gigahertz. And it's also got quad core. Even though it says dual core, I think the threading is quad core. So 64-bit home built. Okay. And of course I'll have to activate this. I may not activate it since I now know to put it on the drive on the other hard drive. The 4 gigs of RAM, let's look into that. And shutdown process. That's all she wrote. Oh no. Yeah, no, I got 4 gigs of RAM. I got 4 gigs of RAM in here. So, but yeah, these are the Viper editions through the Patriot memory sticks. I love these heat sinks. I'm in love with these heat sinks. They did it right. I never have any issues with it. I was thinking I would have issues because everything is so condensed in that spot. You know, I got the CPU right next to it, and then I got the power cables, thinking there wouldn't be enough airflow. I'll tell you, that fan sucks the heat right off those memory sticks. So we'll put these back in, and we'll leave it to be. One side note, I love these D-Link routers. They're the only ones that I know that now offer the activity light flashing. I got a Netgear at home, and it does not tell me diddly other than it's found a connection. There's the old drive. That still contains some information for the FreeNAS. So I really don't want to do anything to this. And to do that, do not overwrite. And then today is the 13th. Something like that. So, do not overwrite on 5/13/2014, which means I am the only one that can write on this disk in the future until I cross all that out. So now I don't have to keep messing the drive there. Let me know what that is and what you would use it for, and what it would be used business-wise.